So Excel's filter function is a game changer for data analysis. It's a formula that I use daily as an alternative to VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. And in this video, I'm going to cover the basics and then share more advanced techniques that will make you look like a pro. So let's get to it. So for this first example, we have this list of customer information over here. And what we want to do is look up this customer name in this column and return all of the matching contact names and phone numbers. Oh, and I'll put a link in the description where you can download this file and follow along. So we're going to use the filter function for this. Right here, I'm going to start typing equals filter. We'll tab into that. Filter has two required arguments. The first is the array, and this is the information that we want to return. So we're just going to select the contact name and phone number column. We can select multiple columns, type a comma. For the include argument, this is our filter criteria. So here I'm going to select the customer name column, and then we'll type the equal sign, and we're going to set that equals to the customer name in B5. We'll go ahead and hit enter, and we can see that filter returns all of the matching results. And this works exactly like filtering in Excel. So if I was to select a cell here, I'm going to hit Control-Shift-L to apply filters. And now if I just went here and just filter down for this one customer, of course, we're just going to see those three rows. And that's exactly what our filter function is returning. Now, what happens if filter can't find a match? In this case, I'm just going to change our lookup value to Sunset Surf Shops with an S at the end. There's no matching values here, so filter returns a calc error. However, filter has a third argument called if empty, so we'll type a comma here. The if empty argument allows us to handle these errors. And in quotation marks, you can just put whatever you want here. I'm going to put the word not found, but you can type any error message you want. We'll hit enter. And now when a match is not made or no results are returned, it's going to say not found. And of course, if we go change this back to something that does match, the results will appear. So this is great because you don't have to use a separate if error function or any other error handling with filter. All of that is built in. And the reason filter is one of my favorite lookup functions is because it can return multiple results. If we look at other lookup functions like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, or index match, all of those functions really only return one result for a specific lookup value. So in this case here, we have an XLOOKUP, which is really doing the same thing. It's looking up this value in the customer name list and returning the contact name and phone number, but it's just going to stop at the first match and just return that result only. Now, XLOOKUP can also search in reverse order with its search mode argument to return the last result, but we're still just limited to one single result. Now, I'm not saying don't use XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is awesome, and there are definitely use cases for it, but there will also be scenarios where you want to return multiple results, and filter is perfect for that. And if we want to make this spreadsheet interactive and a little more user-friendly, one thing we can do is just select the customer name here, go to the Data tab. Under Data Validation, we're going to choose a list. And then for our source, we're going to select all of the customer names here because we're going to create a drop-down list of all of those customer names right here. So we can just quickly select a different customer name, and that's going to instantly show all the contacts for that customer when filter recalculates. And one thing you might have noticed is our phone number is not formatted like it is in the source data. So I'm going to select down to where our spell range might go, right click, format cells, keyboard shortcut is Control-1. We'll go to special here. I'm just going to double click on phone number to apply that. And now we have nicely formatted phone numbers. Now, one important rule of the filter function is that both of these ranges must be the same length. When we were selecting the customer name column, if we accidentally didn't select all the way down to the bottom here and I hit enter, that's going to return this pound value error. So you really want to make sure that both of these ranges are the same length. One way to prevent this is by using Excel tables. On this sheet here, I have our data in an Excel table. There's actually a lot more rows here. And we're going to go ahead and write the filter function right here to see how it looks. So we'll start typing equals filter. We'll tab into that. Again, the array is going to be the results we want to return. So I'm going to hover my mouse over the top half of the header here for contact name until it turns into that down arrow. Left click and hold and select over to the phone number column. You can also use Control Space on the keyboard to select an entire table column. And that's going to create this reference here that shows the column names in the reference. We'll type a comma. For the customer name, again, same thing. We're going to select the entire customer name column. We'll set that equals to cell B4, Again, that's all we need. We'll go ahead and hit enter, and that's going to return the same results. Actually, one additional result because we have more data in our table. I want to take a quick pause and say that if you're new to our channel, welcome to Excel Campus. My name is John, and our goal here at Excel Campus is to help you elevate your Excel skills so you can save time with your job and advance in your career. Many of our viewers don't know that we also offer online courses to help really accelerate your learning. I'll put a link in the description where you can learn more about those. Now let's get back to the video. Next, we'll look at returning non-adjacent columns. So let's say the boss also wants to see the state out here to the right, and we have that information here in the table. We're first going to modify our existing filter function. So I'm just going to select the array, and then we will select all of these columns. Now, when I hit enter here, that shows the state, but it also shows the city here, and we want to exclude the city. For this, we can use the choose columns function. Right here within our array argument, I'm going to start typing choose calls. And tab into that. Choose call stands for choose columns. Our array is going to be the range we just selected, and choose columns allows us to specify column numbers that we want to return or we want to include. So right here, I'm going to type a comma. I want the first column, the second column, and the fourth column, not the third column, but we'll take the fourth column, close parentheses, and hit enter. And now we've excluded that city column, and we just have the state at the end. So one really common question with filter is, how do I copy the formula down? Here we have a filter for just this one customer, but when we copy this down, as you can see, we get a bunch of spill errors. And that's because this formula is essentially blocking the spill range from the formula above. There's a few ways to fix this. One way is to just wrap everything into one cell. And for that, we can use the array to text function. So we're gonna start typing array to text, we'll tab into that. This really only has one required argument, which is the array, which is the results of the filter function. So this is really all we need. We'll close parentheses on this, hit enter, and as you can see, all of the information now is just wrapped into this one cell. Essentially, it's comma delimited in one single cell. We can double click here to auto fit that, and then as we copy the formula down, we're gonna get all of our names and phone numbers in one cell for each row. And I should also note that you can use the text join function here instead of array to text if you wanted to use a custom delimiter instead of the comma. So if you don't like everything stuffed into one cell, I have another cool solution for you on this sheet. First thing I'm gonna do here is I have the same filter function. I'm just gonna copy the formula text here. So I'm gonna hit Control-C to copy all this. Over in this matches column, I'm gonna type equals, and then we're gonna use the rows function. We'll tab into that, and then I'm just gonna paste the filter function here, the filter formula. And what rows is going to do is just gonna return the count of the number of rows that filter is returning. So we'll go ahead and copy this down, and we can see these are the number of rows that each of these formulas is going to return. Now in this cell right here, I'm just gonna first type a 1, we'll hit enter there. And then in this formula, what I'm gonna do is use the choose rows function. Earlier we used choose columns, now we're gonna use choose rows. We'll tab into that. Same basic thing, we have the array, which is the filter, and then we can specify row numbers. So out here at the end, I'm just gonna type a comma, and I'm gonna use this as the row number, cell D4. So we'll reference that, close the parentheses there, and hit enter, and that's just going to return the first row. Now the nice part is we could type a 2 here to return the second row. And I'll change that back to 1. We'll go ahead and copy this down along with the formula. Copy both those down. Oops, we need to copy, not fill. So we have 1s in all of for our row numbers here. And then we have all of the first rows currently being returned. But if you're going through this and calling phone numbers and maybe that one person didn't pick up, we want to try the second person, we can specify that there. And we know how many phone numbers we have. So if we specify a 3 here, that's going to return an error because we know we can only specify as many as 2 rows or pull the second row. And I also have another nifty solution here where you can select a checkbox to see all of the matching rows appear out to the right of the table. I cover this in my video on 19 ways to use the new checkboxes in Excel. I'll link that up in the description below. Next, we're going to take a look at how to use filter with multiple criteria. And this is where things can get really powerful. So in this example, we have our same filter function, but let's say the boss wants to only see contacts that are from 2023 or later, because maybe some of the other contacts are old and outdated. So in order to do this, we're going to use our same filter function. And right here, we're just going to modify the include argument to add additional filter criteria. So the first thing I'm going to do is wrap our current filter criteria in parentheses. So I'm going to put opening parentheses at the beginning and closing parentheses at the end. After this, I'm going to type an asterisk because we're going to do some multiplication here for multiple criteria. And I'll explain this further, so don't worry if this doesn't fully make sense right now. Now I'm going to open parentheses again, and here I'm going to add my second set of criteria, which in this case, I'm going to select the year column. I'm going to say that's greater than or equal to 2023, and then close parentheses. So I now have two criteria and they're being multiplied together. We'll go ahead and hit enter. And as you can see, we now only have two results. And I have some columns over here to help explain how this works. So in this first column here, I just have a column with really our first criteria in the filter function, which is when the customer name in this row matches the customer name in cell B5. When that happens, when these two are equal, this is going to return a true like it does here. Otherwise, it will return a false. For our second criteria, we're doing the year match, again, where the year in this row is greater than or equal to 2023. Again, we'll get a list of true and false values. And if you remember back to our formula here, we essentially took both of those criteria and multiplied them together. This is what you call AND logic. And what I mean by that is when both of those are true, when you multiply both of those true values together, that's going to return a 1. And that's because Excel evaluates falses as zeros and trues as ones. So 0 times 1 in this case would be a 0. Going down here, 1 times 1 or true times true equals 1. And then what filter does is essentially just filters down for all of those ones or true values, anything over 1, and will return those results. And that's exactly what we see as the results of the filter function. Now again, that's using AND logic where both of the criteria are true. What if we wanted to use OR logic where either of the criteria were true? Well, in that case, we can use addition instead of multiplication. So it's the same criteria here, but we're just going to add these true and false values together, or again, ones and zeros. And when we do addition, then anytime we have at least one true value, we're going to get a number greater than or equal to 1 in this column. So if we were to filter this down, as you can see, we're going to get a lot more results here because of course we have 4 matching values for customer name, but a lot of matching values for greater than or equal to 2023. And if we go over here to our formula, that's all we need to change right here to make this OR logic instead. So instead of asterisk, we'll do addition with a plus, and now we're going to get all those results. And one little pro tip here, when I first wrote this formula, I typed 2023 into the formula. This is typically referred to as a hard-coded value, but what you can do instead is put that number in a cell like I have here, and then just reference that cell in the formula. The advantage of this is that you can now change the number right here. So if we wanted 2022 instead, the boss or anyone could come in here, quickly change that number, and of course the results will automatically be reflected. So filter is an amazing function that has a ton of versatility for reporting and analysis. Leave a comment and let us know what you'll be using it for. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you want to learn even more game-changing features of Excel, then check out this video next. Thanks again for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.